Lincoln Park. Lincoln Park was a park opened in 1894 by the Union Street Railway Company of New Bedford, Massachusetts, located in North Dartmouth, Massachusetts on the border of Westport, Massachusetts on U.S. Highway 6. Lincoln Park closed in 1987 and remained abandoned and vacant until the Comet roller coaster was torn down on July 11, 2012. Loudon Castle Theme Park. Loudon Castle was an amusement park in Stravdeed, Scotland and operated from unknown to 2010. Lucky Daw Kittyland. Lucky Daw Kittyland was an amusement park located in Clovis, New Mexico and operated from 2003 to 2005. M&M Amusement Park. M&M Amusement Park was an amusement park located in San Juan, Puerto Rico and operated from 2004 to 2008. Marshall Hall Amusement Park. Marshall Hall was an amusement park at Marshall Hall, Maryland, next to the Potomac River, more or less across from Mount Vernon, Virginia, the home of George Washington. The site of a small amusement park dating from the 1890s, a modern amusement park was constructed there in 1966 and operated until 1980. It was a favorite of Washington, D.C. residents who often arrived by excursion boat. The Marshall Hall Development Corporation tore down the amusement park structures along with most of the farm buildings to make room for a more modern amusement park. When? The large brick stable and brick carriage house that once stood there were demolished to give way to a picnic pavilion. All that is left standing is Marshall Hall, the shell of the colonial home of the original Marshall family. MGM Grand Adventures. MGM Grand Adventures Theme Park was a theme park adjacent to the MGM Grand Hotel and Casino in Paradise, Nevada, United States. Opened on December 18, 1993, it closed to the public on September 4, 2000. The original plan for the theme park was to make it family-oriented by providing activities for children who were too young to gamble. The overall Wizard of Oz theming of the hotel and casino provided the motto to literally follow the yellow brick road from inside the hotel to the entrance to the theme park, which was built on the hotel's backlet. Opened on December 18, 1993, along with the rest of the complex, the then 33-acre, 13.4 ha. MGM Grand Adventures theme park looked like a small version of larger counterparts Disney's Hollywood Studios and Universal Studios, which utilized a movie studio backlit theme. During a later expansion of the hotel's pool and convention facilities, the area of the park was reduced by 40% to an area of 18.8 acres, 7.6 ha. In September 2000, it was announced that the theme park would close in favor of condominiums and an expanded pool. For 2001, the theme park was renamed the Park at MGM Grand and served as a rental facility for corporate functions. The final event at the park was a Jimmy Buffett, Parafed private party on Memorial Day, 2002. On December 5, 2002, MGM Mirage announced the Signature at MGM Grand would take over much of the theme park area for a high-rise luxury condominium and hotel complex. Miracle Strip Amusement Park. Miracle Strip was an amusement park on Panama City Beach, Florida. It opened its doors in March of 1963 and closed its doors forever in September of 2004. Mirapolis. Mirapolis was a theme park which was opened in 1987 in Courtemanche, in the city of Cergy-Pontoise. It was one of the first French theme parks, and its themes were the tales and the great novels of France. The park was dominated by a huge statue of Gargantua, inside which an attraction, a dark ride, was installed. The first year, the bad weather was an handicap for outdoor events and people took refuge in the Grant the Copyrighted. Also, tens of thousands of people have seen a children's musical, Parter A tilde point, with lyrics and music by Rena copyright Louis Barron. It was a comic mixture of works of La Fontaine, a staging of giant puppets created by Yves Brunier, creator of the giant puppet, Casimir. Carlos was the park's celebrity spokesman. The park was closed in 1991 because it never turned any profit. On 1 September 1995, the head of Gargantua was dynamited. Moxahola Park. Located on Maysville Pike south of Zanesville, Ohio, this decrepit amusement park has been well hidden since the road which led to it was relocated. As shown on a topography map plotted in 1910, the road which led past the park was a major thoroughfare for travelers headed to and from Zanesville from the south end. Following the construction of major highways in 1954, it was decided to sidestep the small stretch of road. That decision was both a blessing and a curse for the park. There was still a good bit of it left until the fire in 1997 which burned down several buildings. The Nolan family, who have owned it forever and may have even built it. I am not sure about them building it, but I think they did. They owned what has always known as the Nolan Mansion that sits across Route 22 up until last year, and the home is a classic Victorian. I grew up here and am old enough to remember the park when it was still open. They used to have two huge swimming pools. One was Olympic side and one nearly the same size was a wading pool for children. Was a really neat place years ago. There was also a skating rink that burned to the ground in the late 1970s, early 80s. Last time I was there and the rides were still operating was 1976. Mr. Blobby Theme Park. He attracted nearly 17 million television viewers at the height of his fame, and even had a #1 hit, but today Mr. Blobby's empire is a mere shadow of what it once was. New images of what was the Mr. Blobby theme park in Somerset show a depressing ruin covered in weeds and trash after all-night raves. The park closed its doors in 1999, after the popular Saturday night television show Noel's House Party, on which Mr. Blobby featured, was axed by the BBC. Nara Dreamland. Nara Dreamland was a theme park near Nara, Japan, which was built in 1961 and inspired by Disneyland in California. The entrance to the park was almost identical to Disneyland, including the trained Depot, a Main Street USA, and a familiar Sleeping Beauty castle at the hub. The park contains several rides including Aska, a wooden roller coaster based on the Cyclone at Coney Island, a screw coaster, an aerodynamic designed double corkscrew steel roller coaster, Bobsleigh, a steel roller coaster modeled after the Matterhorn bobsleds, Fantasy Coaster, Kids Coaster, Figure 8 monorail, and other rides included a carousel, a small powered coaster, a jungle cruise, and a log flume. The park officially closed its doors on August 31, 2006. Neverland Ranch. Sun-bleached and overgrown, what was once the personal playland of the King of Pop is now abandoned to the elements, its exotic animals like the monkey Bubbles and underage patrons gone. Amusement park rides and even an elaborate train station are reminders of what was once a multi-million-dollar 2,800-acre sequestered compound for the late Michael Jackson with a full-time staff of over 50. While there have been other superstar millionaires who have expressed interest in Neverland Ranch and some proposals to turn it into a memorial museum, for now the estate, which was foreclosed on in 2008, continues to deteriorate. However, those who want to experience a bit of the hidden Neverland can ride a few of its former attractions, including the Balloon Zomba and Wave Swinger, at the California State Fair. Nunnally's Amusement Park. Nunnally's Amusement Park in Baldwin, New York, was a beloved family destination for Long Islanders from 1939 until it closed in 1995. The park's most notable attraction was its famed Stein and Goldstein Carousel. The Nunnally family established numerous amusement parks in the Long Island area, such as those found in Bethpage, Rockaway Beach, and Broad Channel. Nunnally's Amusement Park, which was in operation for over 50 years, has a special place in the memories of multiple generations of Long Islanders. After the park closed, the rides and games were sold at auction. In protest, Long Islanders banded together to prevent the carousel from being disassembled and sold off separately. Recognizing the passion residents held for the park, Nassau County stepped in and purchased the beloved carousel, and an elaborate campaign was established for its restoration. The year 2012 marked the 100th anniversary of the famous Nunnally's Carousel, which is currently in operation at Museum Row in Garden City, New York.
Ocean View Amusement Park. Ocean View Amusement Park was an amusement park in Norfolk, Virginia.
Okpoland. Okpoland was an amusement park based on the outskirts of Okpodong, South Korea. It was demolished in 2011. One of the many closed amusement parks of Asia, Okpoland has a tragic past related to one ride in particular. The duck-themed roller coaster ride, one of the main attractions of the park, is known to have caused at least one fatality in the late 1990s, for which no compensation or apology was received, and the ride continued to operate. However, in 1999, the ride claimed its second life, a young girl who was thrown to the ground when a cart derailed and capsized at speed. After this incident, the park's owner disappeared overnight, leaving another family with no compensation or apology and leaving the park to be closed in 1999, after it was deemed unsafe. Oakville Land was abandoned after its closure, the rides left in place, with only small buildings in the plot of land being partly demolished. Horrifically, the capsized cart from which the child plummeted to her death in 1999 was also left in place, hanging over the edge of the ride's tracks. Oakville Land was left in ruin, overlooking Oakbodong and its harbors. Over the years it gained popularity as an urban exploration site, not least due to its tragic history. The park was, over time, consumed with much graffiti, including many anti-Korean statements, and one building the victim of arson. However, sometime in the fall of 2011, the site was completely demolished. There are plans to build a hotel over the site where Oakville Land once stood. Old Indiana Amusement Park. The Old Indiana Fun Park was an amusement park located near Thorntown, Indiana off I-65 at 7230 North and 350 West. It is now a privately owned property that has been transformed into the state's largest private wildlife restoration project. On Sunday, August 11, 1996, 4-year-old Emily Hunt was paralyzed from the chest down and her 57-year-old grandmother, Nancy Jones, was killed after a miniature train ride derailed and overturned as it approached a curve. The two victims were crushed under the weight of the cars. Upon investigation, the train was traveling much faster than its design speed of 12 miles per hour. The ride operator claimed to have applied the brakes as the train neared the curve, but it was discovered that many of the ride's brakes were either broken, missing, or not connected, and that most of the anti-derailment devices were missing. The speedometer was broken, along with the governor, which limits the speed of the train. The track was littered with broken ride parts. The ride passed 2 state inspections in the 3-month period prior to the accident, before the safety inspector admitted that he was not qualified to inspect amusement rides. A state review of the park's own records showed that the train had derailed 79 times in the 2 months prior to the accident, and as many as 15 times in a single day. The owners of Old Indiana Fun Park admitted negligence, but denied knowing anything about the condition of the ride prior to the accident. They later declared bankruptcy, and most of the rides at the park were auctioned on February 22, 1997. Opryland USA. Opryland USA, later called Opryland Fun Park and colloquially referred to simply as Opryland, was an amusement park located in suburban Nashville, Tennessee. It operated seasonally, generally March to October, from 1972 to 1997, and for a special Christmas-themed engagement every December from 1993 to 1997. During the late 1980s, nearly 2.5 million people visited the park annually. Billed as the home of American music, Opryland USA featured a large number of musical shows along with typical amusement park rides such as roller coasters, carousels. Palace Amusements. Palace Amusements was a historical indoor amusement park in Asbury Park, Monmouth County, New Jersey, United States. It operated from 1888 to 1988. Paragon Park. Paragon Park was an amusement park located in Hull, Massachusetts and operated from unknown to unknown. Parc de la Toy Sunday or Parc de la Toy Sunday or was an amusement park located in Burgundy, France and operated from 1990 to 1993. Parc Sindibad. Parc Sindibad was an amusement park in Casablanca, Morocco. It operated from unknown to unknown. Play Center São Paulo. Play Center São Paulo was an amusement park in Brazil, located in the city of São Paulo. It operated from 1973 to 2012.
Pontchartrain Beach. Pontchartrain Beach was an amusement park in New Orleans, Louisiana and operated from 1939 to 1983.